After resolving the crisis surrounding Full Wish, we returned to the Astral Express to gather our thoughts. There, Yao Guang, Dan Heng, and Welt traversed every corner of Plain Arcadia to deploy the Deca Light Reflection Barrier as a safeguard against a potential ambush by the Lord Ravager. Meanwhile, Blade decided to set out for the edge of the world in canvas, where he intended to use the power of the Veracity to bring his conflict with Shuhu to its elsewhere. Ashvale, March 7th, and the others headed to the tavern in search of clues regarding Assad Pramod. Their investigation eventually centered on En route. This former masked fool left the tavern for the Astral Express, becoming the navigator known as Icy. And the Veracity shadow of Ashvale is, in fact, his legacy. In addition, Ron May brought word that the Phantasmoon games were more than a game. They were a ritual, enacted by Aha to suppress the dead husk of the Veracity. She further suggested that the path of elation may have originated from a concept stripped away from the Veracity. At the same time, I ventured into the world in canvas in search of Graphia at Evanesia's request. By a twist of fate, I truly did encounter the mother of Imogenesis. She spoke of the Cinderth Age, of the day the Express fell, and of her stand against Assad Pramod, before beckoning me further into the world in canvas. Elsewhere, HIMEKO returned to Graphia Academy to accompany Ryusuke, probing him for any ties to the destruction. As they revisited their shared memories, Ryusuke posed a chilling theory that the real HIMEKO had long ago succumbed to the weathering curse. The person standing before him was merely an imaginé she had painted to carry on her dream of trailblazing. On the banks of the Inkford Hermitage, I crossed paths with Silverwolf and Blade once more. There, I summoned Graphia, who ferried us into the depths of the world in canvas. In the meadow on the distant shore, Blade bid us farewell and threw himself resolutely into the Veracity's maw. Embracing the path he had walked, he reclaimed his heart as a craftsman. By harnessing the Veracity's furnace-like destructive power and the regenerative flesh of the abundance, he vowed to temper himself into the blade that would imprison Shuhu. For in the meadow on the distant shore, it dawned on me that the Graphia we saw earlier at Inkford Hermitage was an imposter. The true culprit, Assad Pramod, revealed himself, exposing that Graphia is, in fact, a scion of destruction. He then broke our assault, grievously wounding Graphia before he departed. As we struggled through a grueling battle against the maddened Graphia, Blade returned from his nirvana. Having tempered Shuhu within himself, he joined us to turn the tide, and with his aid, Graphia was restored to her senses. She revealed that Assad Pramod could seemingly manifest in many places at once. It was exactly as she said, and indeed, at that very same time, Ashvale, Yao Guang, and the others were also attacked by Assad Pramod. Worst of all, even Ryusuke, HIMEKO's father, had been Assad Pramod in disguise from the very beginning. After revealing himself, he stood before us all and declared that an unpredictable disaster was about to descend upon Plain Arcadia.